Thank you so much. Quite an intro, right? So I want all of you to wave your hand first, so I know you are not so sleepy after the lunch and you are awake. So hello,
I
nice.
needed
How
to.
was the lunch? Good, good, good. So before starting this talk, I am going to ask you three questions here, and I just want all of you to raise your hands if you relate to it. So let's start with the first one. Who here has ever built a software independently? Okay. Oh, so sorry.
My bad.
Yeah, no, okay.
Okay.
Let's
Yeah.
start again, okay? So first question is, who here has built in software independently? Maybe a side project, maybe a software by your own, or any kind of software. Maybe it can be a calculator project or anything. All of our developers here or not? So most of us, okay, most of
Can
us.
I answer too?
Yeah, yeah. And but how many of you have deployed that software publicly? Maybe it can be a GitHub repository. Maybe it can be a website that you publicly published, and anybody can access your software and use it. Few of us. And final question, how many of you have monetized your software skill? How many of you have monetized that software so you can earn some money or create some business through it?
Earned money or just monetized?
Sorry?
Actually earned money or just monetized?
Any box, it's okay. Like if you have monetized any software ever. So two of us, and that's what this talk is going to be about. We are going to talk today about how you can actually build, deploy, and monetize your software and use your software skills in order to earn some money, and how Apify is going to help everyone in this journey. And we'll do a quick presentation, then we'll do a very quick, a very nice hands-on workshop. My colleague Marco will do the workshop, and I'll be helping you all throughout the way. So we have a proper guide on GitHub which you'll be following, and building a scraper from scratch, scraping a blog website, and saving the results. And we'll tell you how to monetize it in the presentation. So I'm Saurav, as I said, I'm from New Delhi, and I'm joining PythonAsia and Philippines for the first time. It's my colleague Marco. He's a software engineer
Hello.
at Apify. And I want to say, magandang hapon po. Kumusta kayong lahat? and
Ciao.
and namaste before starting our talk. So I'll start my talk by saying that developer tools are better than ever. With so much advancement in last few years, these are better than ever. We have so many IDs. We have Docker, we have GitHub, we have package manager, notebooks, and so many of AI tools, Cursor, ChatGPT, Cloud, and whatnot. But still, turning your software product into a profitable product is very hard. Why? Why is that so? There are a few reasons that I discovered and our team discovered, and we think these 4 or 5 reasons are the main reasons that your software becomes very hard to get monetized. I'll go one by one and I'll explain each of them. The first one I say is infrastructure. By infrastructure, I mean how do you get your software to users? You need to manage the whole infrastructure from CLI to cloud services, unless you're building a small CLI app or a CLI tool or a library. You need to manage the cloud infra. You have to manage CLI tools, data science apps. You have to think of which desktop app you're going to have, .exe, .dmg, which web app are you going to use? Is it going to be serverless? Is it going to be on Azure, AWS, G-Cloud, Heroku? Yeah, many of the things. Let's assume you know handling infrastructure, or you have some friend who can handle infrastructure for you. The next thing, the bigger evil is waiting for you. And mostly this bigger evil is the biggest problem for developers, and it is called marketing. Even when as a developer you manage the whole infrastructure side, developers usually don't like marketing. You need to manage the whole SEO. You need to maintain the homepage correctness. You need to manage the various social media channels and what not to promote your product. You need to launch it on GitHub. You need to launch it on Product Hunt. You need to manage a Reddit account, and suddenly you'll get banned for no reason. Then you'll have a Hacker News post which will get downvoted, or suddenly something will happen there. Then X is getting trickier day by day. LinkedIn, Discord community, blogs for SEO, then YouTube videos for the demos. and in the final you have to appear in some newsletters. So it's a lot of work as a developer and becomes very hectic to promote your product, to bring it in front of a new audience. And that becomes one of the biggest problems when you create a software and put it in front of the world. Then you have to also authenticate your users. Imagine you did the marketing, you hired an agency and you bring some users. You need to authenticate and authorize those users using different authorization methods. The last thing I'll say is, even if you manage to do all of this, you need to still manage the billing and the part how to monetize your product. So which spot of your product can be monetized easily, which can be the sweet spot, and how you can do that. If you manage that, you need to manage the invoicing of global users. So if you have users from all over the world, you have to send invoices to them. You have to accept payments in different currencies and everything. So you need to integrate an invoicing system like PayPal, Stripe, Paddle, or anything. So it's another layer of subscriptions and costs associated to it. Now, all of these things becomes a blocker for a developer to publish and monetize their product. So imagine a world where you don't have to worry about all of 4 things that I just mentioned, and you just have to worry about coding and publishing your software. That's where Appify comes in and help you. You can think of Appify as a code in and cash out system where you put your code and you get cash in the end of the month. Uh, Before explaining more deep into the whole creator economy, I want to ask you, what a Hollywood actor do? What any actor in the world do? What they do? Yeah, they act, they perform some actions, right, based on a script. They have a script and they perform some actions based on a script. Very similar to Appify actors. We call these tools that we have on our platform actors just because of that. Appify actors are like serverless cloud programs that can automate tasks, that can do data processing, or can be an agent. They can perform various range of tasks, but they are we call them actors because they also perform some actions based on a script. It can be a Python script, it can be a JavaScript script, or a TypeScript script, or any software language that you want to. You can think, I'll explain a very simple analogy that if you keep in mind, you'll think of anything as an Appify actor. Any software that takes an input, processes it in some form, and produces an output can be an actor on Appify. So imagine a web scraper, Google Map scraper, for example. Most of you come to our booth and tried Google Map scraper. It takes an input it takes input as a location or a restaurant name or something else, and it processes it, it scrape, and it produces an output. This can be an actor. What else can be an actor? In the world of AI agents or LLM, for example, it takes prompt as an input, it processes it, and gives you an output. So that can be an actor. So any software that you have in your mind, if you have ever built such software that takes an input and produces an output, can be converted into an Appify actor at some form. And I'll explain you how you can do that and everything. But yeah, if you want to learn more technical part about Appify actors, we have a white paper written on it where we explain the whole technicality behind it on how we do this. But yeah, Appify actors range from various use cases. Web scraping, web automation, data processing, AI agents, and a lot of things. MCP servers even now. So they can be anything as I just explained. So if you have a code that fit this actor paradigm, which takes an input and produces an output, how to convert it into an actor. So we call this process actorization, that converting an existing software into an actor. And actorization consists of these main 5 files. It happens to be in folder of .actor that you'll see in every template when we'll do the workshop, that there is a .actor folder and we have 5 files. 1 and 2 are mandatory to have and rest are optional, but we recommend them all to have. First is actor.json, which is again like just simple things like actor's name, version, build tag, environment variables, etc. Second is a Docker file, which is a wrapper. It contains the instruction of how to build an actor on either Appify console or locally on a machine. So because Appify actors are run by Docker image, and this tells how to build that Docker image locally on your PC or on your console. Then we have input schema. So imagine like when you build an actor and publish it on our platform, when you use Google Map scraper or any scraper when you are on booth, you are entering some input to it. So that input is input schema because of input schema. So you need to have input schema so users knows what your actor can support and give input as. So it is a standardized form, and it's mandatory to have most of the times, and you need to maintain this input schema so your users knows what to enter and what your actor can process. Then similar to that, we have output schema. So for example, a big company is using your actor and they need to integrate your actor into their existing workflows. So they need to make sure that your actor generates a consistent input every time. And that's why input schema. It tells the schema of the input. It's a JSON file again. It tells the schema of the input output that your actor is going to generate, the form of the input output. Then we have finally README. README, it sounds very lame in like every context of open source, like you'll have a very normal README, but in Appify it is really, really important. And in the coming slides, I'll explain you how it is and how and why it is very important. But for now, this is how a .actor folder look like, and you need to add this .actor folder into your existing code, which is like which will live into the SRC source code, and this .actor code will convert your software into an actor. So I'll show you some examples that of open source repositories, famous open source repositories who have already converted their softwares into actor. So for example, we have Docklink. Docklink is maintained by by IBM, and they're advanced PDF parsing tool. So they already have converted their whole repository into an actor. So this Docklink lives on Appify store as well now. And if you go to their open source repository on GitHub, you'll find this .actor folder on the top of it. So yeah, they have 54,000 stars nearly now, and it's very famous in PDF parsing world. Then we also have many other examples like Sherlock. If any one of you have heard of Sherlock, Sherlock is a very famous project. Is at 200,000 GitHub stars, and they essentially, if you enter a username on Sherlock, they will give you all the social accounts that exist on internet with that username. So they have also converted their repository into an actor and published it on Appify, and they are earning like I think $2,000 approximately every month through this, just converting it into actor. So this is how you can also convert existing open source projects into an actor. But yeah, if you don't have any such code or any such open source project right now, don't worry, we'll work on a new code from scratch today, and we'll have these ready-made templates. They live both on Appify console or on CLI. Today we are going to use console for the simplicity, because for CLI you need to install CLI and all the dependencies. But we also have Appify console, and we have a range of templates. So we have Python, we have JavaScript, TypeScript, but we also have many libraries inside it. So you'll see many libraries and many templates like AI agents, like Crawley is one of our open source library, but also Beautiful Soup, Scrapey, and many other libraries that are very common in the Python world. Let's see how the code look like. We'll see in the workshop, but I'll again explain. This is how a typical actor code look like. You have three parts of it, as I explained. Actor takes an input, actor processes it, and actor push it to the dataset, and that is the output part. This is how typical actor code look like, and you'll see in the workshop again. But yeah, now talking about the problems that I talked earlier, how Appify solves it. So how Appify will help you to see your actor to the world, see your software to the world, than your current project. So we have Appify store for that, and Appify have 150,000 monthly new signups every month, and every month we get new 35,000 paying customers. So on Appify store, and these customers are always looking for new solutions on Appify store. I'm not saying that you have to do nothing to promote your actor, but it gives you a very good heads up, a very good head start than publishing your software on your own than on Appify. It acts as a very good distribution center, because we have so many users and then so many actors as well. So we have nearly 20,000 actors on our store now, and nearly 2,000 developers are building this from all around the world. Remind me, I talked about README earlier. Why README is so important? In a typical world, README acts like an instruction, right? But in Appify context, README is your landing page. So whatever you put on README will act as a landing page on Appify. because Apify SEO is so good, it's a, like we are in the industry from very long that our SEO is really good. Our marketing team works on it very good. So whenever you create an actor, you get a special landing page of yourself on Apify domain, and you that page will have a very good rating on the Google search, on every search, than when you publish it on your own domain. So you can piggy bank on Apify SEO in order to get discovered very easily. So for example, you build a Google Maps scraper, somebody search Google Maps scraper on Google. It's very hard that Google will pick up your own domain when you publish on it. But for Apify, it's very easy because our SEO is really nice and you can piggy bank on the top of it. So it helps you to discover in front of your users. If you put some nice keywords, if you put some nice details in the README, your product gets much nice usage than normal. But if you have users, how to talk to them? We have issues tab where your users can open issues if they encounter any problem and contact you, just like GitHub issues, and you can reply to them. And we also have messaging inside our console, so you can send newsletter to your users about any update that you have on your product or any feedback that you want from them. You can just message them. Last month, we paid nearly $1 million to our developer community, US dollars. So developers are earning on an average $2,000 to $3,000 every month through Apify, and Apify creators earn that much. One of the biggest developers are earning more than $100,000 every month on Apify. So the potential is very high if you build on Apify and if you distribute your product nicely. You can earn a lot. You can make this a full-time job. So we have developers from all around the world. We have from Indonesia, we have from Philippines, from Africa, from Europe, from US. We have from everywhere, but mostly from APAC and African region, we have a lot of developers. And we want to have more of them. That's why we are here, and you can see it's a nice opportunity. So time to earn some money. I'll quickly explain how the monetization looks like, because I talked about the sweet spot earlier and how Apify solves it. So we have actor.charge method that is used to monetize your code. So you can actually monetize. We have this monetization method called pay per event, which allows you to monetize any event happening inside your code. I'll again take the Google Maps scraper example, and I'll say, for example, when you put a location into Google Map and search for restaurant, it produces the results. So few events that you can imagine as a result can be images of the reviews can be an event. Reviews can be an event, the stars can be an event, the numbers can be an event. So you can charge for each event differently and set a price tag for it. So each event can be 1 cent, 2 cent, whatever you decide, and people will pay for it. For simplicity, I'm just making result item as an event. So you'll just count the number of time you produces result inside the code and put it inside the actor.charge method. That's all that you have to do inside the code. After that, you go to Apify console, you set the pricing for it. So you write the same event name there, you write the title, description, and you set the price. After that, you have to do nothing. This is how code look like in the end of the method, the input, processing, output, and then the actor.charge method. This is how typical monetization code look like. And after that, we take care of everything. We charge your users. We make sure they pay, and you get the payment in the end of the month. That's how simple it is for you to monetize your product inside Apify. We also have profit analytics, so you can see how much money you are making per day, how much losses are you making, or which day was better, which day wasn't. So you can see all of the things here. You can also see user statistics. So how many users are free users, which user are, how many users are on $29 plan, or how many users are on $200 plan. You can see all of the details here. You can even export this data and put it into your dataset for learning more about your users or the patterns. This is how typical payout look like. And you get into the first 10 days of the month. So every month, like a salary, from 1st to 10, you get paid for the last month. So whatever you earned last month, you get paid here. 80% goes to you, 20% goes to Apify to maintain the platform. And if you want to promote the actor, this is a very nice actor marketing playbook that our marketing team have written. I usually share this. Even if you don't end up creating an actor, this is a nice marketing book to promote the software in general. So you can learn from it. It mentions many things like product and launch, Reddit launch, and everything. So it's just something for the community from our marketing team. And you can join Apify Discord. We have 14,000 developers in our Discord, and a lot of our users who need some scrapers post job openings there. Like they post about freelancing projects that you can grab and build on and talk to them. And there are many events happening there and many giveaways, so you can join and talk with the developers who are already building something on Apify. Apart from them, yes, let's deploy, publish, and monetize an actor together. My colleague Marco will take over from here. If you haven't already used the Apify Asia coupon code, I mean, if you have been on our booth and scan the QR code, it's the same QR code, so you already have $50 of credit. But if you have not an Apify account yet, please scan this QR code, make an account. It's necessary for the workshop because we are going to use one. And yeah, then the workshop time. This is the GitHub repository that we are going to use. So make sure this is open on your laptop and we are going to do hands-on. I will be in the audience, Marco will be on the stage, and we'll help you together for now.
Maybe let's ask if anybody needs the other QR code still.
So if you need any, if you need the previous QR code, anybody needs here? Okay.
No.
There are
fine.
some people. And if you have any question, meanwhile, I can answer. So please feel free to raise your hand and ask some questions if you have.
Disappear.
They cannot scan because of me.
Do you have a question?
Any questions? No?
We also-
Okay. So yeah, we'll wait maybe
I'll
2
introduce
minutes,
that now.
2-3 minutes, and then we'll start, right?
Okay. In 3 minutes.
Yeah, I think so. It's 1:36. Yeah, I think 3 minutes is okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Meanwhile, we also have snacks if you want to have some muffins.
And then we will start with the second part
Yep.
from here. So, okay, I guess we can start.
Yeah.
Okay, so hello everybody. This is actually my first public workshop. So, and I'm also a developer, so I'm not used talking in public. So if something is not clear, if I take something for granted that I shouldn't, please tell me, ask questions, and that's it. Yeah. So let's start. This is the repository that was linked with the QR code you just scanned.
Marco. So,
Sorry? Zoom in, yeah. Maybe just do this. Is it more clear here now? Perfect. So here in the README, you can find the instruction that we are going to follow for this demonstration. So today we are going to build web scraper for the Wired website, which is a website that publishes tech articles, using Crowley, which is an open source library maintained by Apify. And we are going to publish it on Apify, on your Apify account. So, yeah, first you should have an Apify account. That's already done. The coupon applied, that's already done. Okay, so we can start with creating a new actor. So I think I should zoom in a little bit here too. First of all, let's go to my actors page. If somebody of you want to follow, yeah, I see some of you have the laptop. And then click on Develop New. So from here, you have several possibilities. One of them is starting from scratch, and in particular, starting from a template. So today, we want to choose Crowley plus Beautiful Soup template for Python. Then we can just click Use this template. And as my colleague mentioned, there are several possibilities to develop an actor. For example, you can develop it locally using the CLI, but today we are going to develop it directly on the platform using the built-in editor, which is this one. Looks a lot like VS Code. And as you can see, There's also this file structure that my colleague explained before with the actor file, dataset schema, input schema, and output schema. And here in the my actor folder, you can find the Python code. There is already some scaffolding here. You can see that we have a main file where all the magic happens, let's say. The actor is set up and so on. So, okay, we already did that. If you need some time, please stop me. This is the file structure we were talking about. Yeah, we can see it later again. And by the way, on the README, you will also find a page to the documentation. And the documentation will show you some more details about the file structure and also much more stuff. You can find a lot of stuff on the documentation on your own. So let's start by taking a look at the web page we want to scrape, which is this one. And let me zoom in here too, maybe too much. So this is a page on the Wired website that contains articles about programming. So here we have a list of articles, and our goal is to scrape for each article their title, their content, and their URL. So the first thing to do actually is to try inspecting the page. To do so, you have a few possibilities. One of them, which should work on most of the popular browsers, is right-click, inspect. This will open this sidebar. It could be also the button. It depends on your browser. But usually now there's this button with an arrow that you can click. You can inspect the elements on the page. So as you can see here, for example, we can get some information about this particular element on the page. But first of all, let's take a look also at the bottom of this page, because we will find something that we will use later actually, which is this More Stories button. So if we click this, we will open this other page and take a look at the URL. As you can see here, we have this URL. If you click that, we get some search parameters. That's how they're called. And this tells us that we are on the second page. This is something, we are going to ignore this for now, but at the end we will also discuss about this. And if you click on a specific article, this is the kind of page that we are going to see, with some advertisement, of course. And if we do the inspection here, for example, since we are interested in the title, let's take a look at this. Okay, first of all, this is impossible to see. Okay. So this is an H1 element. And now we have to discuss a few things. So now our goal is to identify a way to say, okay, doesn't matter which article we open, this is the title. So one principle that we want to follow is that we should rely on information that is not likely to change. So for example, some front-end frameworks, if you ever worked with front-end, so a web development, maybe you know this, some frameworks actually generate class names like these ones. These are not very reliable because if they update the framework, it's likely that these classes will change. So my advice is not to use this kind of information to identify elements on the page. Instead, here we have data test ID. Data test ID is an attribute that it's usually used for end-to-end testing. So it's something that they are also using to test if their page works correctly. So it's something that is not likely to change because they will have to change also their end-to-end tests, and they don't want to do that. So this is the kind of information we are looking for. So we can assume that all titles will have an H1 element with this particular test ID. This is also true if we open any other article. If we check this title, yeah, this is exactly the same. H1 with content header head. And we can do a similar consideration for the content of this article. Now, if I remember correctly here, there should be something like
Lollipops.
this one. No, this one. Here. This div element should actually contain all the content of the article. So this has a data test ID, which is article page chunks. This is what we are looking for. If you follow the guide, this is exactly what it is going to tell you. The data test ID for the title and the data test ID for the article content. So let's take a look also at the URL of the articles. We can actually see that they have this particular keyword story. And this article too has this keyword story. And actually, if we check them, they are all going to have the same URL structure. They are all going to start in this way. So we can also leverage this to our advantage. And let's see how at this point. We have all the information we need, basically. So we can start building our actor. So the first thing I would do right now is actually something bad. This template has a nice division between main and routes. Now, I will explain what routes are in a moment. But for the sake of simplicity, right now, we want to have everything into our main file, which is bad. Usually, it's nice to have the code nicely structured, but for now, let's keep it simple. So let's have everything in our main file. So I said initially that we are going to use Crowley. So let's talk a little bit about that. Right now, we selected the Crowley plus Beautiful Soup template. So Crowley is actually a library that orchestrates the whole process. So it helps us opening several pages, identify which kind of page we have opened, and extract the information from each page. It also manages stuff like retries if there is some network connection problem or stuff like that. And it has many advanced features too. Beautiful Soup, on the other hand, is another library that we can use to parse HTML files. That means that we can read HTML files and understand how they are done, and also query them. So using the information we just got about titles and content of the articles, we can actually instruct our crawler to use Beautiful Soup to find those elements in the HTML page and extract their text content. But let's proceed from here. We have more stuff here, actually. Maybe let's spend a couple of minutes explaining what it is. Well, this is your main function. This is a Python thing. So this should be, you can adapt this in other programs too. But this is the actor. So this instruction tells us that if we are running on the Apify platform, we should wait for the platform to be ready. Once the platform is ready, we can start executing the scraper. This is also another feature of the platform, which allows us to stop a scraper at any moment. There could even be some advanced stop. Maybe let's talk about this later. But for now, let's leave it there. Then we have input parsing. So as my colleague mentioned before, we have an input and we produce an output. Here, we are reading the user input. So if you tried, for example, Google Maps at the booth, you saw that you could enter, for example, restaurants in New York. Here we are actually reading that information. So we know that the user wants to scrape restaurants in New York, for example. In this case, this is just the initial configuration, so let's leave it like this for now. And finally, after we create our crawler using crawly, we can start a crawler, and this will do everything, basically. The logic was contained in the routes file that we just deleted, so let's just re-implement it according to what we found out about the page. So first of all, we should import this stuff. You can also copy paste from the README if you want. Let's put it here. Okay. And then we will define the default handler for our crawler. Now I can explain what the routes are. Oops. Sorry. My bad. So basically, remember what I said before, that crawly helps you in managing the navigation with multiple pages. Here we can define a different route for each page. So if we go to the listing page, for example, which is here, we should tell the crawler to do something in particular, which is identify all the articles and open them. Then when we go on the article page, we will need to tell crawly to actually extract the information. So to do so, we have to define these routes. So this is the first route. This is for the listing page, and this uses this particular method which is included in crawly, which is enqueue links. This will find all the links included in the page, and it will filter by this pattern. So remember that before we observed that all the articles had this story inside the URL. This is how we use this information. We will find all the URLs in the page, and we will only filter these ones. And then notice this label, article. We will use this in a moment, because we are going to introduce another route for this crawler, which is this one. So let me copy paste this one too, and I explain you what this does in a moment. If you have any question, I will repeat that. Please stop me, because or raise your hand and I will stop. Because I'm talking a lot, so this is a lot of stuff.
Yeah, just raise your hand, I can come to you, or Marco can stop. Anything.
Yes, of course. So notice that this label and this label match. This is because when we call this enqueue links, crawly will actually, under the hood, create a request. This is how it's called. Put it in a queue, and then open it later. And when it opens it later, it will match the label, and it will know that this is the correct route to call. So it will use the code inside this function, article handler, because we are actually opening the page for an article. And here we can apply what we just observed before. So this one is using beautiful soup under the hood. You see soup. Select one, which means select the first matching CSS selector. And here we have the selector. So this syntax is actually a regular CSS selector. So if you have ever done front-end development, this is how you point to a specific element in your CSS file. To test this, you can actually use the development pane in your browser, which is the other, no, here. So let's try it here. You can go to console. Then I probably, in order to paste, no, I can paste, okay. Sometimes you have to give it permission. You can do document.query query selector. Then open the, it's already there because I tested it. You can see that
Zoom in. People here cannot
it's
see.
impossible to, can I scroll down? No, I can't.
Okay. Then it's fine. You have to live with it.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Or maybe open it in a new page. If it's that's possible, no?
Opening a new page.
If
No,
possible.
because like, this is the point.
Okay,
Like,
okay.
it's in the same page.
Yeah, okay.
So you can see that this is the result of this query. And when I hover it with my mouse, it will actually highlight the element that I'm pointing at in the page. So we can confirm that this selector is correct. So it's a H1 data test ID, the one we observed before. Okay, so then we are doing the same for the article content. And finally, we are producing our output, which is called data here. In the output, we are going to put title. So let's take the element which we define here, and let's call get text. So it will extract the text content from that element. Same thing for the article content. And finally, the URL. For the URL, we take the same URL we were using to navigate to the page. So context here is our Crowley context. So it's our request context. The request was associated to a particular URL, the one that was extracted with this method, enqueuelinks. So this is exactly the same URL we extracted from the listing page and that we navigated to. So we are going to have this URL in our output. Because finally, we are doing context push data. This means if you came to our booth and tried, for example, Google Maps or any other, that this data will be visible in the table where you have your results. And this is it. Let's see. I think we can already try it. So let's press save and build. But since we haven't configured our input yet, we have to manually define which is the initial page, which is this one. So I'm going to copy this. Okay, the build was successful. So here I'm going to set this page. Let's try it out. Let's hope that I didn't introduce any mistake. So here by default it will go to the output panel, but you can also check the logs for your program. And there's a problem. Yeah, because since I previously deleted the routes file, now it's not finding them anymore. So I forgot to remove that import. So let's just fix this, this problem really quick. Code. And let's go to main and let's check the input at the beginning. Yeah, as you can see here, I was importing the router to use it in the handler. So actually, I have first to remove the import, and then also to remove here where I was using it, because we are not using the router anymore. We are just defining the routes here in the same main file. Let's try again, hoping that I didn't forget anything else. Okay. What you see here in the building panel is the actual Docker image build logs. So all the steps defined in the Docker file, you will find their logs there. Let's check again the logs very quickly to see. Okay, it looks like, but I have, oh, okay. Okay. So this is what's happening if we inspect the log very quickly. These are some automatic logs, because you may have noticed that we didn't tell the program to log anything. So this is something that happens internally in Crowley. You can actually define which level of logs you want to see in your console, in your output. This is set to info, I think, yes. So it will print info, warning, and errors. But yeah, here we have some information about the current request. Here he hadn't crawled even one page. It was just starting with the listing page, so it's telling us that. And finally, the final log tells us that we have finished. Okay, so we can take a look at the output. This is similar to what you have seen at the boot. So we have this table, and we are able to see the title, the URL, and also, if I click on all fields, yeah, I should be able to see the content. Exactly. So here's the whole article extracted. And I can also export it in various formats. I can see it in JSON. I can do whatever you want with this data. But first, let's go on and make it a little bit better. So you see here that I have, in my input tab, I only have start URLs. And I have to manually input my URL, which is not very nice because this is a wired article scraper, so it clearly has to scrape the wired website. I shouldn't have to input that manually. So let's change that. Let's go back to the README. Okay, so here I already have some input schema that I already defined for this example. And let's compare it with the existing one to understand how it works.
Yeah. Sorry, is it okay?
Yes.
Again, sorry, I missed the part where you made some changes to make the code work again. So could you
yes. If you want, in the repository, there's actually the code that I'm making right now, the final code.
Oh, no, the
So
previous one, the routes that were deleted to make the previous run work.
The import.
Yeah,
the import. So there was an import of routes here.
You have to remove that.
It was the last import here. You just have to remove it. I already removed it, so it doesn't exist anymore.
all right.
Yes, that's fine.
All right.
Yes. You just need line 18. Line 18.
And then
Just
also,
remove that. Yeah, it should work now.
And which one?
you have a
That's
question
one.
too? Ah, one moment. And then also in the, when you define the crawler, you will see request handler equals routes. You have to remove that part too, sort of. Is it clear?
You have not removed.
I have, but I don't know if you have.
Just go here. Yeah, you have to remove this file too. Routes.py. Yeah, you have to delete this file.
Okay.
Delete. Yeah. Now it will work. Build and start. Build first.
So let's take a look at the existing input schema.
You have to
So
remove
as you
this
can
file.
see here,
That's why.
we have defined start URLs
Yes.
with a pre-filled value. So this is what we saw initially. We saw start URLs with this appify.com URL, and we changed it to wired. So instead of this, we would like to have this. So we would like to set a maximum number of articles that we want to scrape. This is actually a good pattern because if we then are going to ask the user some money, it's also fair that we ask the user if he wants to set a limit to what he wants to scrape and save some money, possibly. So let's put this here. And also, we are going to
Meanwhile,
handle
you can change the
pagination,
code.
as we
that's
said
right,
initially. So now that we have the limit, each page contains 24 articles. Maybe the user wants to scrape more than that, so we have to go to the second, third, fourth, and so on page. So this is what we are going to do right now. And to do so, I already prepared some code. This is just an import that we are going to use here. So we define what's the number of articles per page. Then we define a counter that we are going to use to stop at some point when we meet the limit imposed by the user. Then we read the input, and we also read this value from the input. So the max articles. This is the same key which is included in the input schema. This is how the input is going to be passed to the actor. It's going to be a dictionary with the same keys as in the input schema.
Oh, good.
And we also define a default value, which will be just one page. So all the articles in one page.
This is the final code.
Then we can calculate
So
how many
this
pages
code
we
is the final
want to
code that
scrape.
You will see. Yeah, you can
And
just
finally,
see
we
what
also have
happens.
the URL, because we don't need to manually input this URL again. It will be hard-coded. It will be always the same. And then we can generate the starting URLs. So instead of clicking on the, it was here, instead of clicking on the More Stories button, which would require opening a browser with JavaScript enabled and so forth. No, I don't know if it needs JavaScript, but opening a browser. We are going just to navigate to the pages, because this has a very nice URL structure. So we can infer that if I just replace 2 with 3, we are going to navigate to the third page, and so on and so forth. And this is exactly how this works. So we are going to do the same in code. We are going to put the page number here for each page in our total pages. And finally, we are going to update the article route handler. So I'm going to consider the process article that we defined here. And I'm going to stop if I already reached the maximum number of articles. Otherwise, I'm going just to increase the counter. So let's copy and paste this code in our implementation here. So let's go back to the main file. Yeah, this is an import, so I will just put it here. Then I will put this part inside inside this async with actor. And here I want to replace the current logic to parse the input, because I also changed the input schema, so this is outdated. I want to remove this.
Sure.
And also this
Maybe
part.
there are changes in other files, so we don't know, but you can try.
So let's replace it with that. And finally, inside the article route handler, I'm going to put that part. And I think, yes, I have to fix the indentation, of course, a little bit. OK. So now the article handler will increase the counter first and then scrape the data.
Just when we complete, just when
Or
I ask
stop
if
if we already
have a
reached
complete
the
answer,
limit.
just raise your hand and take a swap.
Finally, we can also define the output schema. This is slightly more advanced, but here inside the fields parameter, this is a regular JSON schema. So inside the fields parameter, you can define how the output should look like. And pay attention, because the actor would actually fail if the output doesn't meet this schema. So this is actually a guarantee for the user that the output is good quality, always the same structure.
Just read it.
And here instead is just some views, some nice views. So it's a way for the user to
Just scroll down. And
no,
see
it's a
the-
way to display the data to the user in a nice way. Maybe like a nice table formatting some data in a particular way. So let's have this inside our dataset schema, which is already there. Nice. And I think that this is all. So I can do save and build first, so we can check the input tab before starting. So let's just click Save and Build here. Okay. So I guess that, okay. Now instead of start URLs, I have maximum articles. And let's try scraping 2 pages. So save and start. Now save refers to the input that we are setting here. Let's always check the logs to be sure that I didn't destroy anything. Okay. But I only see 13. Why so? You already finished? Yes. So why just 13? Desire concurrency. Yes. This is actually another option. There are a lot of options. Some of them are hidden. No, it's probably in the code. Yes. Let's go back to the main file. When we define our crawler, yes. Okay, I I actually tricked myself because here we actually imposed a hard limit on the number of requests that we are going to manage, which is 10. Actually, as you could see, we actually had more than 10 results because the general policy is that if something is going to be sent in output, the crawler will still output that instead of throwing it away, even if it received a terminate signal, just to avoid wasting resources. But let's try removing this, and let's see if it works actually. And that happened probably because we were managing both the first and the second page at the same time. So we were outputting more articles. Let's see. As you can see, in the meantime, no. We also have other informations here about my run. So for example, this is a general timeout that the user is able to apply to the runs. So doesn't matter what's happening after 3,600 seconds, the actor is going to stop. Also, we can set the RAM memory that the actor is going to use, which will actually influence also the available CPU. And it will be a cost for the user who is running the actor on the platform. So here we have 46 actually, still not 48 for some reason, but maybe there was some connection problem or something like that, but it doesn't look like so. Yeah, I guess that this is probably a logic problem. If we reach the maximum articles, we're going to set the message and just skip this article handler. It should work actually. Maybe the second page doesn't contain as many articles. I don't know. Maybe it's just that. But yeah, we are very close to what we wanted initially. Do you have any question now? No? Okay. So they have a question, sorry. So the question is how to handle the CI on the platform, like quality assurance of the actors. So maybe I can talk a little bit about some possibility about how to push the code on the platform. There's the possibility of pushing it from local development directly. But first, let's see another possibility actually. Because here in the code, you see that here we selected Web ID. You can actually link a specific Git repository to this one. So I do remember at the end of the README, you actually have a link for the final actor, which should contain the same code as the README. Let me just check very quickly if I did that here. No. Oops, I will fix the A-link. But anyway, I can probably put this one there, or maybe even from here. Let's try doing this live and let's see how it goes. From SSH. No, but with HTTPS will be, I don't have to configure anything else, so better. Main branch. Folder optional, doesn't matter because we have everything into our main, into the root folder. Folder is meant when you have like monorepos. Let's try to see if it works. I didn't test it. Okay, the deployment key is actually a concept that we usually need when we connect a Git repository through the SSH key, using SSH as an authentication method. Now we shouldn't need it because I put an HTTPS link, but let's click add anyway, and let's see how.
5-7 more minutes for this. If you have done the thing, I'll start doing my thing and you can answer the questions meanwhile.
Okay. Yeah. So now, as you can see, it is cloning the repository directly from Git. So my point here is that you can implement your own CI on your Git provider to test the code. But actually, there is some automation on the platform. It doesn't touch your code directly, but it will test that your actor actually works over time with the default input that you provide to it. And if it doesn't, after a few failures, I think 7 failures, I don't remember, it will mark your actor as under maintenance. So if it fails the automatic testing, all the users will be able to see that flag on the marketplace. So there is some simple way to mark the actors that are not working anymore. And usually the maintainer also receive an email, a notification. Pay attention that you should take care of this and fix this. Okay, apparently it worked. So as you can see, you can link, you can link the actor there. Let's leave the default value for now, and let's try it again. Should be the same code that we coded in the web editor, and it will also be available for you in this repository, which is public. I will fix the link later to this one. Sorry for that.
Any other question do you have? Do you have one more question? No? Any questions here?
Yeah, you gave the example about doclink being having actors, right? So does that only work for GitHub public repositories, or can I also do?
No, but you can also docking, or you mean like deploying your repository here?
You can convert any piece of software into actor by adding.
It doesn't need to be public.
It doesn't need to be.
Here, I'm using HTTPS because this is a public repository. But I can also link private repositories. Of course, there's a catch. You need to give, what? Sorry, I clicked on the link on the, here. So here, you have to give this public key to your, you have to insert this into your GitHub account for the project. This will tell the GitHub that that project is allowed to be pulled by Apify. Yes, with this public key.
So I can still have a private
Yes.
repository.
Yes, yes,
Yeah, this
definitely.
This is one confusion that I also saw on the booth. You can have as much as closed source software on Apify as you want. If you want to help others, you can have open source. We have a lot of open source, but it's up to you to choose between being closed source or being open
And
source.
there's also a badge for open source actors. There's also a badge, so open source actors will be visible in the marketplace. But yeah, you are not forced to make it open source.
And you can also use Apify CLI, and you can directly push your code directly from your local PC to Apify console. And you don't even need this if you
There's
do that.
another possibility, like if you, let's play with it. Let's go back to this one.
If anyone have, maybe let's take more questions and then see.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
So, sorry, I could not attend Amplify booth. So I had one question on. Could we understand this as a kind of app store, but also with the development time?
Yes. Yes. Exactly. Exactly. I'll say Apify is.
So let's repeat the question so the
Okay.
mic will catch that.
So the question he asks is if he can put Apify as a marketplace, app store / app store, and a platform for developers to use, right? So yes, I think Apify is a marketplace for developers. Apparently, the biggest marketplace for developers to publish software. So we have the whole platform end to end where you can deploy the software, use our services like proxies. You can use databases. You can use other actors. You can integrate your actor to other actors or other softwares like Make and it, and then you can publish the software on Apify Store, which is discoverable by public everywhere else. So we have both. Yes, I'll say yes. Any other question? Yeah.
Is the platform able to detect third-party apps?
What do you mean
Yeah,
third-party apps?
What do you mean exactly with it?
Like if we're using
So
open source API.
So you are, if I'm correct in understanding, you want to use some other third-party API or third-party software inside your actor. Usually, many developers do that in Apify, but there are consequences to it. So, for example, there are times when you will get free users on your actor, and by free users you don't earn anything, but you'll still pay for something for the third-party API. So this is the tricky part with the third-party API using that. You'll still pay something to the third party, but you'll not earn if your free user is using your actor. So it can be an investment. Many developers use this as an investment that if you're using a third-party API, there is a cost associated to it, which Apify don't cover. For example, if you're creating all things by yourself and publishing it on Apify, and let's assume no paying user is using your actor and only free users are using, you'll still have cloud cost of API, right? But Apify covers that. We pay for it, so you don't have to be in loss. So you cannot be in loss on Apify when you are you don't have paying customers. But if you are using a third-party API, it gets a little tricky because you still have to pay something to the third-party API. So that's the only tricky part. You can use it. We don't detect it. So it's inside your code. We don't see your code. I think yes, right?
If that was the question, yeah. Otherwise.
So I'll start. Meanwhile, feel free to ask questions. What I will do, if any one of you have completed creating an actor, just come to us, take a swag, and I will start a Wheel of Fortune for the AirPods giveaway because we are few. I'll just write names quickly, and feel free to ask questions. You have created an actor? Yeah, just come here, and any one of you have created, just come here. Marco will help you to get an act. Can I?
Yes, yes. Nice.
Okay.
But please take. Let's put it a bit. Good idea.
Maybe there. Maybe from there. From there. From there.
Let's leave it here.
Can we get?
It's already.
All of these are.
Can also get the bag.
Is it one or more than one?
One.
But
First come, first serve. Just one thing. Anything you can take. A cap, a notebook, or something. Just one. Oh,
well, you can.
okay,
These ones are for free. You can take.
okay.
Also,
I'll
this.
ask one by one everyone's name. Just tell me your name so I can put it in the wheel of names, and we'll do a raffle for the airport. Don't give the airports away.
I have them.
Sir, I can just list their names.
Oh, you already have their names.
Not yet, but I can list it.
I want to write here.
Should I give my name? Miko, M-I-K-O.
Okay. I'll go one by one from here. You can sit on your seat. And
This is a good idea, actually.
yeah, your name? Carlo? Sorry, spelling. Okay, Carlo. Yeah. It's fine. It's just for luck. Huh? Sivo? You don't want to participate? If you haven't completed, it's okay. Just tell me your name. Gabriel.
And sorry. Perfect.
Paolo?
Yes, you can take whatever you want.
Can I take this?
Yes, yes.
Excuse me?
Yes. All
name?
the stickers, you can take the stickers too.
Thank you.
Please,
Sorry?
please.
Spelling, please.
Very nice.
BR?
Thank you.
Can I take
Brad. Okay.
Yes, definitely.
One for each. One only, right?
Yeah, no, you can take one for each
it's
if you want.
Prince,
The-
okay.
The stickers
Yeah.
are okay.
Avery.
Thank you.
I think so if it's wrong.
Very good.
It's, I think fine.
Thank you.
I'll pronounce it that. Man, it's getting tougher. Can you?
We have very few actually hats.
Oh,
Clarice.
okay. Can I also get?
Technically is one. Let's see at the end if we have some more.
Maybe you can type
Extra.
it. Maybe
Nice.
Here, you can type it here. Maybe
Yes.
that will be better because your name is.
You can take the stickers if you want.
Just press enter after every name.
Nice. Ooh, even multiple runs, multiple tests. Please.
Choose one of it. It's okay.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Yeah, I'm not the best one.
Hello. Very nice. Take what you want. Yes, you can take the hat. You can also take the stickers if you want.
I like this one because it's real.
Hello. Very good.
Taking time. Maybe in the back. Can you tell?
Thank you.
Excuse me.
Hey, hey.
Excuse me.
Nice.
Can you tell your name there?
Done na kayo.
Thanks.
Sorry. Done. Okay.
Very nice. Yes.
Sorry. You can tell your name. You can just tell your name.
The software where it starts,
From here is
it
okay.
starts at 18%.
Judy. Judy.
Which limit did you give it?
24.
24.
Stops at 18.